Hello, and welcome to the Christopher Watts Conspiracy Hour. I'm your host, Megan J., the one who's always late, but always great. I'm just kidding. How you guys doing? Let me know if you can hear me. Again, I always have to do a 5x5 here. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get to my chat here because I don't know why the chat's so slow on my computer, but I put it on my phone so it goes faster. Okay, Angelina. Okay, so 13 people. All right. Thanks for everyone for being here. I don't know why I've never seen the full video of Officer Perez taking the sheet and bra and shirt to the evidence room. At least I don't remember. I probably would have remembered it, but I think I only saw like little clips of it on Daily Mail or something. So I was going through the discovery files that Dr. B got, and I just was clicking on them and started watching it, and just thought I would get on tonight and see what you guys think about it. I know I'm sure a lot of people have already covered this already, but I haven't, so it's new for me. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Do you want me to just? It's only about 30 minutes long. Well, only 30 minutes long. I could probably skip through some of it if you guys want, but I know you guys like to chit chat and stuff about the case, so I'm sure you guys won't complain, right? It's about 30 minutes long, so I can either play the whole thing and then discuss it afterwards, or I can stop it as we go along and make little comments. So put a 1 if you want me to play it all the way through, 2 if you want me to stop and talk. All right. Okay. So hold 4. Mark said 4. Okay. 4 it is. I don't know what that is, but we'll do 4. So when I watched it, I downloaded it from, like I said, from Dr. B's thing. And then when I tried to download it on my computer, it said failed. I think my firewall is probably blocking it or something. So I'm just going to go ahead and trust my firewall, and I did find it from Mommy Ramblings channel, so hopefully she's okay with this. So I'm gonna just play the one that she posted. Where are you golfing, Mark? And people said they had trouble hearing it last time, so let me know if you guys can't hear it. And let me know if it's blurry too, because I went back and watched the video from my last live and it was really blurry for some reason. I don't know why. It's always something.
Hi there, this is Oscar Perez with the Frederick Police Department. I am here, just waiting to get let in by one of the law enforcement officers here at the PD.
Real Justice. This is your first warning. Please don't tell anybody to F off. Okay? Thank you.
Yes. Awesome, thank you. Bye. Oh, sorry. Sorry, it did open. I thought it was a glitch.
Oh, no, they walk at 9 o'clock.
All right.
Do you know where I'm going?
No.
No.
Do you know where the evidence room, dry room? To
Yeah,
be specific.
down here, but let me see if it all show you.
Okay. Yeah, that way I'm not. Fair enough. Thank you. Yes. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Hey, how's it going? You gonna be my tour? Yeah. Appreciate it. Well. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Jocelyn. Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Jocelyn, shake your hand.
Good. Is that from the?
Just so you're aware. But yes, that's just it is.
You just need one.
Probably gonna need two, or for sure two, maybe a third.
Oh, we have these two.
They say
And
they
then
have three.
you can hang stuff in there.
Oh.
So it doesn't, do you need like
This is a drywall.
each individual thing by itself, or?
No. I
Okay.
think it all go together. Just the big one is going to be a blanket. I don't know how big it is. So I don't know if it's going to fit in that, but I'll get to that point. So.
Okay.
I'll see what they want to do.
Are any of your partners coming, or
Nope.
just you?
Just
Need some help then?
if you're not busy. Okay, this is going to be a big one.
Do you know, I don't know if you would know what our case are on this.
Yours? No. Much of that in the bag. So this was going to be the worst one, smell-wise.
So that one's the one that needs to move in. So.
Yeah.
I think we can just like drape it over this bar.
Yeah, let's see if this one puts them all.
Sorry, I just wanted to pause it. I love how the subtitles say "bar shameful, just applause." Yeah, because that was really close.
Another much dirt on it. No, just throw it on this one.
Do you need help?
Okay. Yeah, just hold the bag, make sure you get the one in there. me go ahead and ask just how they want it. I think they were under the impression they were a little bit different. Like extended, so we can extend this out. So let me make sure he wants his drape over, because he said not to have it touched so it doesn't mold up.
Oh, on it. No.
Yeah. Hey, Dave. So on the dry ones, so it's not long enough or it's not big enough for us to extend it the whole way. We can drape it over, but some of it, like towards the bottom, might be touching. I don't know if that's going to affect it at all. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it might hit the floor. Yeah, and then it might. Long wise, it doesn't look like it's going to fit all the way, so the ends might be folded up too. I mean, I'll try to prevent as much as possible, but that's going to be because of the sheets too. It's going to be long. Okay. All right. Yeah, there was just there was more than fish so that way it doesn't get mold up if it crumples that little thing. All right. Yeah. Okay. And then with the dirt, did you want me to just put that in the same bag or put that in a different bag? Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to pause that because I know it's probably hard to hear. I'm assuming it's bomb over, but if somebody knows for sure, let me know. But Perez says something about the dirt, and Baumhover says, or whoever he's talking to says, no, the dirt's not really that big of a deal because we know where it came from. So I just wanted to translate that for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Once we hang it up. Yeah, but there's like a big lump of dirt though. There's a huge one. I just wasn't sure if you wanted to keep all of it, some of it. Okay. You want that in plastic or in paper also? I'll do paper. Okay. Mm, okay. So you want to put that in okay. 'Cause it's quite a bit though. That's what I'm saying. Like if I throw it on the floor, it's quite a bit of dirt on it. Yeah. Are you saying the all the dirt that I collected off of it? If I just throw that on the floor of the room? Yeah, I put it in the same bag that was in the sheet. I was just saying if you wanted to keep it, if you wanted to put it in a different bag, or okay, okay. All right, and then I'll throw it in there as well. All right. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thanks. Bye. Get specific orders.
You did get specific orders?
No, I had to get exact orders on one. Can't think by myself. he said just drape it over as much as we can. Which way is the? Okay.
I'll let you do the draping.
You guys have hangers in that one too? Good as that one's gonna get.
And that one, does he want the dirt?
Yeah. Do you have a plastic bag? Or we can make one?
I can make you a steel bag.
Yeah.
Or one of these.
I'll sit this one just bigger.
How big?
Let's go over here.
Hopefully,
Yeah. I mean, I get we just want the dirt to dry as well. I'm gonna throw it in there.
You want the dirt in there to dry?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, okay. So what do we do?
Throwing this in there.
Okay, so
And-
when we use these, they want everything in paper bags. So if you're putting the dirt in there, you're gonna need to leave it in there.
Okay. Then,
You wanna know?
yeah, I was gonna say, are you okay with us taking some here, paper bag?
You want,
Just throw it in
like, are you wanting switching bags? Or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just leave this for the sheet then. We got for the dirt.
for now.
Yeah, I think that should be it. Yeah, I just have to label that somehow with a hand or something, just so it's specific. Whoever grabs it, that and goes with that. Which is easier.
It's not.
Yeah. Okay. Should go. Let's see what else is in here. The shirt. Yeah. You've done this one and a half. Man, can I still three more of those tags?
Okay, so that was pretty interesting, right? So you have two people that, from what it looks like, have only done this maybe a couple times. Chica, yeah, right? It just says bra on it. I mean, granted, it does say Shanann Watts on the outside of the bag, but that should probably have everything marked on the tag on the clothing as well, just in case for some reason somebody steals it. I don't know. But either way, they should have the tag, all the information on the actual clothing itself. But yeah, so it looks like they have only done this a couple times. Perez has to call Baumhover to even to ask him what he needs to do, and even on the phone, Baumhover doesn't even seem like he is really confident in what to do. He's like, "Oh, the dirt? Yeah, well, you could put it in paper bag. No, no, put it in plastic. No, yeah, put it in paper. Yeah." And then he says, "Well, there's a lot of dirt though, and what do you want me to do with the rest of it?" Kind of thing. And Baumhover's like, "Oh, the dirt's really not that important because we know where it came from." So that was kind of strange because I would think that everything is pretty important. And yeah, just because you know where the dirt came from, um, you still have to preserve evidence. So then you have him take off his glove, he puts his hand, or not puts his hand, but he calls Baumhover, puts the glove back on. So they don't even, well, one, they're not wearing lab coats. I mean, I'm not a forensic analyst by all means, but and I know that those shows are not, like forensic files and stuff. Uh, that's probably as real as you're gonna get as far as forensics goes. But I mean, I would imagine that you'd have to wear like long sleeve or something because you wouldn't want body hair, coming off and getting onto the sheet or the shirt or any evidence. and then he's got dirt on his gloves, and he, takes his hands and brushes off the dirt everywhere. There's dirt all over the table. They don't even put all the dirt back in the bag. Who knows if they even wiped down the table beforehand? You would assume so, but and then after they're done, after she, I think her name is Palencia, Palencia, Officer Palencia. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that totally wrong, but she takes the rest of the dirt and just brushes it off the table into somewhere, the floor or the trash, and they don't even wipe the table down and sanitize the table after they have the dirt all on there. And when he sets the bag on there, then he sets the bag on there, that probably is contaminated. Like, it just doesn't seem realistic, and it doesn't seem like common sense, I guess. Like, you don't need to be a forensic analyst to know that what they're doing is probably not very sanitary and probably not preserving the evidence. So I did do a little bit of research. And I have the screenshots of it on my phone because I was running out of time. So I will try to remember to put the links in the description when this is over. Give me 1 second. Actually, let me pull up the discovery really quick. So that we can compare the video to the video. Or compare the video to the discovery. Okay, let's see, let's start one. Okay, sorry. This is probably completely irrelevant, but I just found it odd that all the news outlets and the Discovery say, and all the documentaries say that the Watts are from Frederick, but I was trying to look on a map one day for the Saratoga Street, and I could not find it for the life of me. And I'm like, why is it not here? So I remembered that sometimes on Shanann's Facebook it says Erie. So I went over to Erie and found Saratoga right away. So if anybody knows why they wouldn't say where they actually lived and say they were from Frederick and not Erie, let me know. Again, like I said, it might be irrelevant, but I just thought it was odd and it's worth mentioning. Okay, so it says Ivan Perez, Dave Baumhover, on August 17, 2018, at approximately 21:07 hours, I, Officer Placencia, was dispatched to the Longmont Police Department at 225 Kimbart Street to assist Frederick Police Officers Ivan Perez in booking some items into property and evidence. I contacted Officer Perez in the lobby of the police department, and he was holding a cardboard box with several paper bags inside. He advised he needed to use our drying closet for several items, and he escorted Officer Perez to the property and evidence room. I assisted Officer Perez in logging each item. He did not give details of the case, only stating it was for the recent missing person case. Recent missing. Okay, that is that kind of strange, because at this point, obviously, she's already. I mean, they're already deceased. So why? I mean, why be so secretive to your fellow officer? I mean, because she's on the case. So okay, that doesn't make sense. Weird. Okay, only stating it was for the recent missing person case, which is Frederick case number 18-6743. First item he took out was a white sheet which had a substantial amount of dirt on it. Officer Perez placed the dirty in a separate bag. Okay, typo. They forgot sheet, and we draped the sheet in the drying closet. Also in the drying closet was the dirt and a separate paper bag for the sheet. In the second drying closet, Officer Perez placed a black bra, purple and white shirt, and blue pair of underwear. Each item had an individual paper bag, and I recorded each item on a property and evidence sheet. The drying closet was locked and turned on. I don't remember them locking it. I guess maybe they did it off camera. Perez advised the person to contact about the items was Detective Baumhover with the Frederick Police Department. No further action taken by this officer at this time. Case status closed. So was this marked closed on the 17th? So I guess apparently right when Chris literally confessed, the case was closed, apparently. Huh. Okay. So now it says it's a blanket and not a sheet. One white blanket with dirt and red substance, blood. How would they know it's blood unless they tested it? They're just assuming it's blood? I'm just checking on my chat here. Hi, Jan Thurgood. Thanks for being here. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of strange that 8/17/18, she's already assuming Officer plus, plus, plus I want to say placenta. Oh my God, okay, Placencia. That now it's a white blanket, and she's automatically assuming that it's blood. But I guess maybe they see a lot of blood, so they know that it's blood. But you can't just assume. I would imagine you have to test it. Dirt from blanket, still a blanket. Okay, not a sheet anymore. Okay. Items are labeled per Frederick's case. Nothing counts. Okay. Contact Detective Baumhofer. Okay. So yeah, so why isn't the evidence custodian there when all this is happening? Or the one who takes care of the evidence, which I believe would be Amanda Purcell. So why isn't Amanda Purcell or I think there's another statement by Perez that says that there's a evidence technician, Cavins. I'll try to find that. So why isn't Cavins or Amanda Purcell here if they're the ones that are supposed to be handling the evidence? You would think that Perez would just drop off the evidence and sign it that he dropped it off and leave, and they would leave it in the bags, put it in the locker, lock the locker, and then leave until the one who's supposed to be handling the evidence comes in and takes care of it and either does whatever they have to do or takes it to forensics or the forensics laboratory. Okay, let me see if I can find that other statement here. Okay, so when Perez came in, it was August 17th. And then August 20th, Scott Coonrod. Okay, let's read it. Sorry, that's probably like really hard for you guys to see, huh? Let me see. So on August 20th, 2018, this officer responded to the Longmont Police Department to retrieve evidence that was drying. Upon arrival, I spoke with evidence technician Cavins. Cavins stated she, technician, not even going to attempt that last name, and Sergeant Cage, okay, are the only people that have access to the locked dry safe. Okay, so if they're the only ones that have access to the locked dry safe, then why were Perez and Palencia, Officer Palencia, they're opening and closing the dry locker if Cavins and Cage were the only ones that have access to the locked dry safe? I was advised no one had been in the cabinet since the items were placed inside. Okay, well, that still means that other people had access to it. The cabinet was locked upon my arrival. I gathered evidence number 60, underwear. Wasn't that underwear in the video labeled number 1 or something? I don't remember the number 60. Oh, I guess those are just the evidence numbers, but okay. I don't know why there's so many different numbers. Okay. Evidence number 60, underwear. Number 61, shirt. Number 62, bra. Number 66, sheet. Okay, we're back to a sheet again. All right. The items were placed back into the original bags and sealed with evidence tape. Why did they even take them out of the... I mean, I get it to dry, but why did they take the dirt out of the bag in the first place? I mean, why wouldn't they just leave it in the same bag? I also collected number 79, the bottom cabinet floor liner, which was under the sheet in the evidence drying cabinet. Number 80, the dirt that had fell off the sheet. And 81, the bottom floor liner, which was under the clothing items that were dried. The forensic evidence drying cabinet was divided into 2 sections. The sheet was in the door to the left, and the other clothing items were in the door to the right. The items were placed in plastic evidence bags and stapled shut to allow them to breathe. The items were placed in plastic evidence bags and stapled shut to allow them to breathe. Am I missing something there? Because if they're stapled shut, how would they breathe? I placed evidence tape 2 over seals. I signed a property and evidence report sheet that Longmont Police had completed. A copy was provided and placed in this file. The evidence was later booked into locker number 12. Officer Coonrod. Okay, so we have like a lot of people handling this evidence. We have Palencia, we have Perez, we have now Coonrod, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see Baumover handling it at some point. So that seems like a lot of hands getting involved here, a lot of people. Okay, let me put in Jocelyn Placencia. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, I can't. ENCIA. All right, there we go. Okay, well, I can't find the other pages on my phone, but okay, never mind. I did read it already. Okay, so the research I did do on several websites I checked. I did find one Colorado one, but that was, I mean, I imagine it's the same protocol or similar, but it was for, officer involved shootings, which is when they would bring in the CIRT team. But I would imagine it's pretty much the same as far as handling evidence goes. So this particular website says evidence submitted to the evidence room or evidence drop box will be assigned a property number and evidence room location by the evidence custodian or approved designee. Only the evidence custodian or approved designee is authorized to remove evidence from the evidence drop boxes and transfer it to the evidence room. When this is done, the evidence custodian or approved designee will sign the chain of custody log or logs, log the evidence in, and place it in the appropriate bins. Evidence in the evidence drop box shall be transferred to the evidence room at least once a week by the evidence custodian. So I don't remember seeing an evidence custodian in there. I just remember 2 officers. Okay, so in this article it says maintaining and documenting the chain of custody for physical evidence in critical homicide cases. It begins when an officer, detective, or crime scene technician collects a physical object, weapon, cartridge case, piece of clothing, any object with fingerprints, etc., at the crime scene or legally seizes it at some other place. For example, a defendant's vehicle. The item will be tagged with identifying information or, if possible, placed in a bag with a tag. The identifying information will include the time and place the item was found or taken, person making the tag, and any other relevant information about the circumstances. When the item is submitted to the evidence clerk in the property room for storage, that transfer is also documented, and the evidence clerk in the property room the transfer is also documented, and the evidence clerk is then responsible for the object's security. If the object is transferred to a forensic specialist for analysis, that transfer and the return to the evidence clerk are also documented. It also says that soil samples can include dirt, sand, leaves, grass, and foliage. Soil readily absorbs and retains ignitable liquid residues, which makes it a good source for laboratory analysis. Collect in new, clean, unused, proper cans. Samples should be refrigerated or frozen. Soil contains bacteria which will destroy hydrocarbon products. Freezing of the sample will preserve the integrity of the evidence. proper handling, minimizing contamination. Use only clean gloves and utensils. Change gloves often and in between handling different items. So we didn't see Perez. Palencia, I don't think she handled anything, but we didn't see Perez change his gloves in between handling the sheet and handling the bra and handling the underwear. Do not talk, sneeze, or cough near evidence. Do not process items for latent prints with same brush or by dipping into container or powder. Okay, so I think we could pretty much say that they probably most likely didn't handle the evidence the way they should have. Number one, because they aren't the evidence technician or custodian, which should have been present there at the time at least. And they weren't sanitary by all means. They're not wearing long sleeves, so in case hair falls off or they're talking, breathing all over it. They don't even get all the evidence in the bag, all the dirt. She just brushes it off the table. They brush the dirt off, and they don't even clean the table after that. And then he sets the bag on it, sets the clothes on it. So why are they showing us this and showing us that it's not obviously, it's obviously not the proper way to do it. So, do they just not care? Or, it's just, I can't believe I've never seen this video before. At least I don't remember, like I said. So when I saw it, I was like, are you serious? Like this, they don't even seem like they know what they're doing, number one. And number two, they're contaminating the shit all over the place. There's even a time, I think, where, when he's taking pictures of the sheet, you know how much bacteria is on cell phones and fingerprints and bacteria, and they're like one of the most disgusting germ-ridden things ever. And he's got his gloves on, but he's touching this bacteria-ridden cell phone and then goes and touches the other items with the same gloves that he used to call Baumhofer on and take pictures of the evidence with. Like, this is just crazy. Allegedly 4 people are dead and they're not preserving any evidence. And they're blatantly showing us as well, which is crazy to me. And that's all I have, folks. But I'll look in chat here and make sure everyone's behaving and see what's going on. Yeah, if you have to get rid of, or I don't know who's still mod for me, Chica, if you have to get rid of Real, just get rid of him because I don't need him to be a distraction. He can do that on other people's channels, but not here. Yeah, Chica real does need a timeout like a child. And that's the thing. Let me see if I can find the comment. Forrest Gift made a good point. Where is it? Okay, I can't find it, but she said they must be thanking their lucky stars. CW pled guilty. That evidence would not have held up against a good defense lawyer. Yeah, I agree. It almost seems like they already knew he was going to take the plea deal and that there wasn't going to be a trial because obviously they don't give a shit because they're obviously sending in officers that don't know what the hell they're doing. They're not even certified to be handling evidence like that in a murder case, let alone a quadruple murder case and a high profile one at that. So why are they sending in people that don't know what they're doing and having to call Baumhover? And Baumhover, I'm sorry, but he doesn't even seem like he knows what he's talking about because he doesn't know whether to put it in plastic or paper like we're at the grocery store. So, I mean, that's pretty disturbing. I mean, if that was my family and I saw the evidence was handled like that, I would be furious, like extremely furious. Yeah, Chica, when have you ever seen a high profile murder case closed within weeks, months? Yeah, I don't know of any. Like the psychiatrist I talked to that had 30 years of experience in the Colorado courts, like he said that, I mean, if he, you know, immediately worked it out and he pled guilty, it's possible that it could be closed that quickly, but he said that it's not usually that quick. And especially, like you said, for a high profile murder case. So I know it's kind of late, but if anybody does want to call in, you can. I'll put the link in the chat. And then if someone does call in, just let me know you're in backstage. KK Smithson. I believe that Dave G would know this, but oh, okay, yeah, no drag marks or tire tire tracks at Survey 319, Dave. I thought that they said that there was drag marks, but you would know better than I would. It's okay, Chica. I understand. And the thing is, if let's say, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that Chris or whoever accomplices, if there was any, they, well, we know that Chris said that Shanann was too heavy and that he dropped her when he was taking her down the stairs. So if that is true, which we can't really believe anything Chris says, but that's one thing that I would believe because dead weight's extremely heavy and difficult to lift as well as carry. And if he carried her or dragged her from upstairs or from the house through the garage, lifted her into the truck, drove to Survey 319, took her out of the truck, and then took her the amount of yards from the truck to the grave site or the hole, she would have definitely had some sort of post bruising on her. Or let's even say that she was just, for some reason, not conscious. She would still have either pre or post bruising on her or some sort of, you know, some sort of lacerations. And in the coroner said in the autopsy that Shanann didn't have any exterior injuries whatsoever. I mean, if you drag someone across a cement garage or a cement driveway, that's you're gonna have some not rug burns, but you know what I'm saying. You're gonna have burns or some sort of scrapes or something, even if you're wrapped in a sheet, which is even more ridiculous because if Shanann was wrapped in a sheet, like Chris said when he put her in the truck, that would have even made it even more difficult to lift Shanann because you can't get a grip with the sheet where it's moving and slippery. It's not possible. I don't care how buff you are. Yeah, CJ. Yeah, I know. They said that he was completely normal and he was not acting strange at all. I mean, he probably would have had a lot of dirt on him and sweat, and for them to say that he looks normal and fine is pretty strange. Yeah. So yeah, Jan. She definitely. There's no way that the pathologist or the coroner would have missed something like that. She would have had to have several scrape marks or post bruising from and especially in the position that she was in that they said she was in the in the grave. You know, after you pass away, your blood, I don't know the exact, I used to, but I don't know like the medical term for it, but it pools because it your blood doesn't have oxygen flowing through it anymore, so it pools, and then wherever the blood settles, it causes bruising. Depending, if your face when you die or something, if your face is pushed up against the wall or a table, or a lot of times in drowning cases, they will have pooling, in their face blood, or I can't remember the term for it, but she would have had something similar to that, and I don't think it's ever mentioned.
Hello?
Hey,
Can you hear me?
yeah, hi, you made it.
Okay. How do I get back to the chat again? Let's see.
I don't know.
Oh, I got it.
Actually, I don't
Okay.
know if you can see the chat.
Yeah, I
Can
can
you?
see it now.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So, what did you think? I'm glad you could come on.
Yeah, I came downstairs so I didn't wake
Think
anyone
you're
up.
gonna have to whisper. um,
Um, yeah, I just heard you were talking a little about what the rigor mortis or the blood lividity where
is that what it
where the
is? Yeah,
blood
I forgot the technical term.
yeah, where the blood like pulls to wherever the bottom is. Like if she
Yeah,
was face
Shanann
down
would
or
have had that,
whatever.
right?
Right. Exactly. And rigor mortis sets in like within 2 to 6 hours after death.
Yeah, and then so
So
yeah, I know that the coroner did. I remember specifically he said that she didn't have any exterior
yeah,
injuries
no
at all. I
exterior
mean, besides her,
injuries.
besides the bruising on her neck from strangling, but that's it.
This is Chica. Yes. Yeah. I find it very odd that she didn't have any bruising or scratching or scrapes or anything like that on her body, or Chris, for that matter,
True. Yeah.
if he
Well,
did it.
that was like Paddock's. From what I remember, the autopsy from the Vegas shooting, there was a lot of stuff that was wrong with that autopsy. I mean, remember they got his eye color wrong, and
Yeah.
um, some other some others. It was just very strange.
But
And
even
then they
the
cremated
whole
him.
right. But even the whole how they didn't identify them in person, which is totally would never happen.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't think that. No, I know that's not legal. I mean, 'cause you have to, even though it all points. Because someone was arguing
Right.
with me before. They said, well, it was at they were at his work, and all the signs pointed to him. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, what if he,
Like,
God
what
forbid,
if they were
killed
trying to
somebody
like flee
else?
the country or something? For God forbid, just some random story. But what if they were like trying to just like you know leave the country and
Right.
made
Yeah.
shit up
Exactly.
and took random people and just did buried them and threw them in a tank and no one identified these people. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right.
That's why they have family members to identify them
Yeah.
because
And Sandy
anything
says,
could happen.
right. And Sandy says, oh, does she have dark hair, and is she beautiful?
And she,
And they
yeah,
say yes, and she says, oh, that must be my daughter. That's my daughter. But how many women in the United States have brown hair and are? I mean, I don't think you can identify people that way.
exactly.
And then is one of them wearing a pull up? Oh yeah, that must be Cece.
There's no possible way, and I know I say that every time, but I have had kids in diapers for the last 3, 4 years, I just got my last one out of them. So I know diapers do not and will not stay in oil for 2 days on someone's body, let alone probably be able to find the diaper in oil.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, it might not be like disintegrated, but I highly doubt that it's still going to be connected to her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that tape would have been disconnected, or not tape because it's a pull up, but still, it would have, because you said that you put it in the washing machine before, right? Diapers or pull up, and they just got all mushy
It
and
just turns into complete mush, and
yeah. So
that's
you're
just
talking all
water.
those toxic chemicals. Yeah, that's crazy. And the thing is too is if they, let's say that they were able to fit through those hatches, why was there only a scratch or laceration on Bella's hip? Like, wouldn't they have more injuries being shoved through those
Right,
small?
because that's what I said. I have a 3-year-old and 4-year-old, and I don't think that they can fit through an 8-inch diameter hole. It's both girls also, so not much different from what Shanann has.
Yeah, and like I said,
And
if they did, they would have more injuries.
they would
And
have
did they
broken
mention?
bones
Yeah,
to be shoving them through that hole.
well, that's what Dr. Phil
I would
said. But
assume. Well,
do they mention in the autopsies? If because they said that they found blonde hair on the right on the inlet of
on
the
the
hatch.
yeah on the hatch,
So
right?
did they mention in the autopsy? Someone in chat might know too, but if they mentioned anything about Cece having lacerations on her head from her hair coming off, like what? Unless it like just caught on something, unless there's some sort of like sharp edge, like that was of metal or
It looks
something that
like there was an
pulled the
edge
hair out.
in there, but I don't remember seeing anything about them having or being able to tell if they had any lacerations because they were in oil for 2 days. But they could tell that the shirt was pink, and then the diaper was still on, but they couldn't tell if they had any lacerations or anything like that.
And then
But
there's the yeah, and then inside the hatch is even another like little lip. Like,
mm-hmm.
so are they measuring that as 8 inches, or the whole outside is 8 inches? Because that would make it even
Right,
smaller.
right, and it's all
Yeah,
rusted, and you would definitely get some kind of abrasions and scratches. And so
yeah. So what did you think about the evidence? I can't believe I've never seen that whole thing
you never
about the
seen that whole thing, you said? I
yeah,
did see it before. I just never. I think it was a while back, and I didn't pay much attention to it like I did tonight. But yeah, the cops shouldn't be handling it anyway. Once it's collected from the police, it should be handed to the technician and then the cops. I don't know if they stand there and watch, but I don't think they handle it.
right, and yeah, that's what I was saying. I think they just would transfer it,
Transfer it. Correct.
right, and
Make
then
sure it's
sign off
safely
on it,
transferred. Right.
and then right, and
Right
then
up.
the evidence technician would be there and
Right.
confirm that he dropped it off, right, to be a witness, and then he's gone.
Because if you hear in like the Chad Daybell Lorvallo case and how they handled the evidence, it was totally like they handed it over. It was put in bags, handed over to the evidence technician, full tags and everything was bagged and tagged correctly. You know what I mean? So, and that was in
Right.
the court proceedings. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but
I
the way
haven't. No,
they
that is
describe it
crazy.
is not the way it was done here.
No, I don't think anything in the Watts case is done by the books.
But I don't really think they care tell you the truth. I think that they're just like trying to throw out whatever they can because they know there's nothing we can really do about it. You know what I mean? Even if we think
Yeah.
it's a psyop or a false flag, or if NK did it or whatever we think, we still can't really do anything about it because they're not going to go against each other and
Right.
above.
And then you have exactly. You have all the mainstream media that is not going to say anything about it,
Right.
because they're in
Because
on
you know
it.
that
And
mainstream media is all scripted and told what to say. There's no real journalism there.
no, absolutely not. Well, that's what you notice too. Is like as soon as they push the official narrative, it's like, okay, we did our job, and no matter if any new information comes out that doesn't support if it doesn't support the official narrative, they're not going to cover it
Exactly.
because they already did their job. You know.
Andrea says Bella had scrapes on her buttock and shoulder injury that came directly from Sandy. Okay, well, was that in the Discovery also? I'm just wondering. I haven't read it in a while.
I don't know, but if it wasn't in the Discovery and it came from Sandy, then I don't know how she would know that because if they were put into, the
Crude oil.
because they right, well, yeah, because they were flammable, like they said,
Right.
then they would have, and they wrapped them up to transport them. Then how would she? They're not going to open them back, to for her to
Right.
see, or even if they could, she wouldn't be able to see that. So I don't. I mean, if it says it in the
Right.
Discovery, then yeah, but
The only person she would be able to see is Shanann to
right,
identify.
exactly.
But that's
It's in the autopsy, she said, or KK Smithson said.
it's in the
Okay.
autopsy. So yeah. Well, I haven't read it in a while, so I wasn't sure.
I think it's weird that how many people in this case were able to, or that apparently were, have abilities and or some sort of empath, because you have Sandy, who I think it was Coonrod, when Shanann was still missing, says that Chris is acting weird and that she thinks that he's gonna pour oil all over them.
Yeah, that was a weird statement
Like,
to make.
very weird statement. Like, why? She's. They said
Why would that be
nothing
your
but good
first
things to
thought?
say about him, and how wonderful and great of a son-in-law he was. And then it was like all of a sudden, the minute they find out he backs his truck into the driveway, it's, oh no, I think he's guilty and he definitely did it and he's gonna pour oil on him. Like, what a strange comment
Right.
to make.
And she was only missing a few hours at this point. Plus, she
Right.
didn't get home till 2 a.m. She was pregnant and traveling. So, I don't know why anyone would be like, oh my God, we have to see if she's okay. She hasn't answered our calls. Well, she's pregnant. She's tired. She got home at 2 a.m. It's not abnormal.
Right. And I think that most officers would probably not even consider
Right.
even
Go
going at
back
that point.
and, yeah, go back and check in a little while. And, if you don't
Right.
hear from her, call us back.
Like if she said,
She is
yeah,
pregnant.
yeah, if they said, oh, when's the last time you saw her? Oh, 2 a.m. What time is it? 9? Yeah, okay, call back later when she's probably just tired and sleeping from traveling, like you said. So, like, when you call it a
So,
welfare check, you have to be, I mean, pretty certain that there's something wrong so that you're not
right,
calling and wasting their time.
right,
So, I mean, even if it was like, because there's some sort of argument that it was, the 911 call was made at 12 or something. But even then, it's like, I've been out late or I've been, in sleep till 12, and my friends don't call welfare checkup, but I mean, we'll
exactly.
argue that she's pregnant or whatever, but maybe, that's even more of a reason for her not to.
It's not the answer. Yeah, I've been pregnant and not answered calls. My friends weren't knocking at my door, banging at my door, looking for me.
right? And then they'll probably say, "Oh, well, you don't have as good a friends
Like,
as
beat
him."
it.
Like what?
Right.
Like they just don't freak out. But no,
Right.
but so that's a now that I we mentioned that. So she went on the 8th for a. I wish I could find it. I couldn't find it in the discovery again once I went to go back and look, which is kind of strange. But she went to on the 8th. She had that test done, and I don't remember the exact name of it. We were talking about this in the last live, but the
Oh, the
one that
internal
like the one
ultrasound?
that's invasive a little bit, like they have to go in with
Yeah,
that long
like the
syringe.
internal one. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it can be risky, but
Yeah.
it said that it was for testing for Down syndrome and other um, complications that they can test for
Right.
earlier now. So I don't know if you know the actual terminology for it, but what I read was that if you're on a high risk pregnancy, that they wouldn't suggest doing that.
Yeah,
And
I don't think
Shanann was
it's
high risk
I don't think
pregnancy
you have to do that test. Right, especially if you're high risk.
because they actually have to like go like do they draw blood from the baby
From my
or
doctor's
from
office, that no, they draw blood from you, um, for Down syndrome and stuff like that. But I don't think that you have to do that test. At least from what I can remember when being pregnant.
okay. Yeah, because she went for that, but then
And
it says in the discovery that she canceled. She had two appointments, I think, on the 8th, and so she canceled. She did like a bunch of like not a bunch, but she did canceled one. She went to that one for the test, and then so I don't know when she had the 4D one done then because she canceled that one, I think, and I thought she was supposed to go on the 13th. Was that appointment for the 4D or the for the ultrasound? From what I can remember. So I'm just trying
right,
to think
so when did she have the ultrasound to find out the sex? Because you really can't find out before a certain amount of time unless you're
Yeah, I know.
doing
Well,
it
I looked that up,
by
and I've seen
blood
some
work.
websites. Yeah, I know, but I've seen some websites say 12 weeks, which is
See, I did a 3D ultrasound with my last child, and the earliest I could do the 3D one because I couldn't do a normal one because it was too early. The earliest I could do a 3D one was 14 weeks, and I had to pay for that out of pocket. It was like $125, and it was not at the doctor's office, not at the hospital. It was like their own little 3D imaging place, and the earliest they could find out the sex there doing 3D was 14 weeks. I don't know if things have changed in 3 years where they can find out earlier now, but
yeah.
I had my last daughter in 2017. So Shanann was only just pregnant in 2018. So it couldn't have been that much different unless
Mhm.
it's changed now, a couple years later.
Yeah, I don't know. 'Cause I know that the 4D ones are pretty good, but I'm just trying to figure out because she knew the sex of the baby because we have the picture. I mean, I have the ultrasound picture if you want to um, go with that, but so she had to have had the ultrasound for or something for the to figure out the sex on the 8th when she got back from North Carolina. So I'm trying to remember what her appointment was for on the 13th.
Yeah. Why would they have it a week apart? Unless it's because she's high risk. I don't know. I've never been high risk, so I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up again. It was something like she canceled one because the two places that she goes, one is for regular OBGYN, and then the other one is for the gender testing, and they're in the same complex. And she canceled one because it says that she had one appointment, and then she canceled, never showed up, and then she rescheduled something and canceled again, something like that, and then rescheduled it for the 13th. So I'm just wondering why she canceled it when she was already there, and then scheduled it for the
Yeah.
13th.
So,
I'll
and they
have to
would
take a
have a
look.
reason to go over there at 9 a.m. to
Right, I know
to
exactly. Is yeah,
to meet the
definitely.
narrative.
Yep.
That's my only.
And then the fact that she was a high risk pregnancy and to go to North Carolina for 6 weeks and not, and I don't, I don't know how many
Right,
times
not
or
see any
often you have to see.
doctors during that time. That's weird too, unless she's seen doctors down there. But
And you wouldn't normally go to multiple OBGYNs, right? I mean,
no,
you
you
want to stick
wouldn't.
with it, right? So
Not
yeah,
unless you talk to your OBG. What I don't know how that would work if you were going away for 6 weeks and said to your OBGYN, like he'd be like you're high risk. You would have to see doctor. You have to go at least once a month when you're not high risk. So I don't know how often you have to go when you are high risk.
hmm. Yeah, I don't either. I definitely don't know that. So
I just seen a question I was gonna answer.
I know I never pay attention to the chat. I'm terrible.
Um,
It's the KK Smithson said it's the liquid surrounding the baby. It's extracted with the long needle through the belly button. Only in high risk.
it's the
So is she saying
not the
that they only
placenta.
do that in high risk tests? I mean high risk pregnancies.
The Down syndrome test is not that kind of test. It's just a blood
Oh,
test. I
but
thought
she said it's the aminocentesis. Have you heard of that? I haven't heard of that. Yeah, I think she's right. I think that's what it says in the discovery.
the amniotic sac. I think so. Well, then I never had that test done. So maybe it is only in high risk.
Oh yeah, maybe. But that does seem pretty invasive for.
Right.
If you have RH, you have to get blood done frequently.
RH negative. Yeah, I know
That's
you have to
not
get
a rare
blood
blood type.
tests. Yeah, that's very rare. And you have to get like certain shots, I believe. Correct, Renee? Certain shots
Oh,
if you're RH negative blood type. But wasn't she with her diseases, wasn't she like not able to have kids, or it was hard for her to have kids? Harder?
yeah, like she was. I think her Chris allegedly had to have some sort of um some sort of help with Cece or Bella.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. So, but she said on Facebook that the reason why she got pregnant with Nico so quickly was because of Thrive, and she didn't have to
I'm
have any what's the word I'm looking for, any not.
I missed the question. She had lupus, but I thought she also had something else like
She had a lot of things. She had lupus,
fibromyalgia or something.
fibromyalgia. She had celiac disease,
Right.
something else too. Another thing. Yeah,
Allergies.
yeah, probably. I don't know, but yeah, she had a apparently had a lot of illnesses. And I thought that they said that her
A
Frank
lot
Senior
of
said
people
that
think
she,
that she was kind of like a hypochondriac with the kids and stuff like that, and always thinking taking them to
yeah,
the
I think
hospital.
she yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's the difference between Munchausen and like being a hypochondriac? I mean, isn't that kind of similar or no?
Uh, Very similar, I guess, but Munchausen,
Maybe
I
that's
think
like
you
the
actually
technical term
believe
for it.
it, and hypochondriac, you're just afraid you
Oh,
have
okay.
it. Munchausen,
Um,
you believe you have the disease or
I mean, I don't
or
know.
syndrome.
I think I'm not saying that she didn't have those, but I think a lot of it had to do with selling Thrive because
I think so too, and I think someone made that point recently that that would be a good way to. And I'm not saying this is all allegedly. Like I'm not saying she did or didn't have anything, but that would be a good way to say, look, what Thrive's doing for me, and I have this, this, and that.
yeah, yeah, and that Thrive that I've looked into that, and that is it's like crack in a patch, you know. I mean, it's we don't know. I mean, she could say all this stuff that she wants and say I cleaned the house and I did all this and this and this and cooked 3 meals and yada yada. But then we don't know what happens when she turns that camera off. She could crash in an instant. I mean,
Right,
it's all a sales pitch.
right,
I mean, they're not even transparent on their website about anything about any of their products. Like they don't say where their products that are allegedly gluten free come from. They don't say where their products are grown that are allegedly gluten free. They don't, talk about, which scientists or nutritionists are actually testing their products. Like you would think that a company would want to be as transparent as possible with their customers.
and weren't they giving them to the kids too? Is
Yeah,
that what I heard?
yeah, she was, but I don't know. I know that when I looked up when I was looking into Thrive that they do have, patches and I don't know if they have the patches, but they have the bars for the kids. And I don't
Right,
think that those ones actually contain like caffeine or the green tea extract or whatever it is. Um, not
yeah, I
green
think
tea,
that's
but
very odd to be
green
putting
whatever it is.
patches on your kids.
But so I don't know if they had those for the kids back then in 2018. Like I think that's a new product. So I mean, but the Thrive
Right,
bars that she was giving Cece and Bella, those those have caffeine in them. Yeah, for sure, because it's got that the coffee bean, green coffee bean extract. That's what it was, not green tea, green coffee bean
right.
extract, which is caffeine, and it also can cause if enough of it, heart arrhythmia and a bunch of things, and also with her lupus and her celiac disease, like that's especially the celiac disease, that's it affects your your
Right.
bowels, So, and if you eat gluten, you can't eat gluten, and
And
also
you can't
caffeine,
drink, and she was a
right?
drinker, and you're not supposed to be out in the sun when you have lupus, and she was in the sun
Hmm.
on a lot of her pictures, so it just
But
doesn't
I just
add up.
can't see all that stuff she made being gluten free, and I mean, because it's so hard not to cross contaminate food, like even no matter how hard you try. Because my mom's friend has celiac disease, and that's why I know a little bit about it because I was researching it for
Yeah,
her,
my mother-in-law has it also, that's
and
why I know about it.
it's not fun. Apparently, like it
And
is
it's
not.
hereditary, that's why I have to, like, get my, kids checked if they ever have, like, stomach issues and stuff like that, because my oldest is 13, so eventually I'll have to get her checked for celiac because it is hereditary.
Oh, is that I see? I didn't know that,
I
but
didn't know that either until my mother-in-law found out she had it. I
but
knew
yeah.
nothing about
So
it.
the fact that yeah that there's no way to prove or confirm that those products are gluten free. And so that being said, I'm going to probably go ahead and say that they're not gluten free because they, like I said, they don't say where their products come from. They don't know, they could be coming from some crap farm, like they there's no proof that they're gluten free. So the fact that Shan was wearing these, like if that's the case, she would have had huge issues with her celiac disease and
Yeah.
being cross contaminated with gluten.
Oh, well, Thrive is definitely a scam. We know that. All those uh pyramid schemes are what they are, pyramid schemes. And she didn't bring home like $80,000 a year, like she said,
No,
or
no, no, that was her
that was
total sales.
told.
Yeah,
She brought home like $10,000 a
like
year.
that's like her sales with everyone under her, I think.
Yeah, with her team.
Right. Of course, they don't like specify that, so everybody thinks that she's making 200,000 or 80K. But
Right.
yeah, no, Thrive gives me like a weird vibe. Like it's definitely cult like.
They're saying someone
I
needs
mean,
to
they
wrench
all are.
down there. What's going on?
What's happening?
Dave G said, Megan, time for a wrench. I don't know what's going on in the chat.
Oh, I gave him one.
Or okay. I haven't been keeping up.
Oh, apparently we're victim bashing, and we're not doctors. We're not victim bashing. We're just discussing.
We just said allegedly. We don't know. We don't know for sure if Thrive works. We don't know for sure if she had what she said she had. We don't know. It's all HIPAA. Anyone can say. I can say I have freaking cancer right now, but you guys wouldn't know that or not. That was kind of a bad analogy, but
Bad example, yeah. No, but yeah, all the MLM schemes they're all like that. But I mean, yeah, they're all generally like that. But like my boyfriend, he used to, like years ago, he used to sell Univera. Have you heard of it?
what's it called?
It's called Univera.
I've never heard of that, but what
Okay.
kind of
Yeah. I mean, essentially, yeah, it is an MLM. But the difference with Univera is, and all these other Herbalife or whatever, which they're not even, it's actually not even the same because they their products are based from, the aloe vera plant, like hence Univera, and they're completely transparent with, and he could like explain this so much better than I could, but they're transparent. They have scientists and nutritionists, and they test all their products, and they have a laboratory with over like 400 different plants, or and they
right.
actually, you know, are, I think they said that they do put it through the what is it? Not the gold standard. That's the stupid Corona thing. That they put it through. What are the MLMs? They don't have to go through. What is it again? Through the not MLMs, but I mean anything that has to do with like um, vitamins and stuff. Oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, but they're very transparent, and like I said, he could explain this so much better. But that actually started from a guy that took it over from his dad, and his dad had cancer, and he actually started taking aloe vera because they had an aloe vera farm, and he started taking aloe vera every single day, and he actually ended up living like 20 more years because of it, and he actually passed down the company to his son,
aloe vera. I thought you said something else. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Well,
aloe
that's an
vera.
all natural. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all
so I mean,
natural.
and like I said, my boyfriend knows all like the like technical terms, but I was going over Thrive and all the products in Thrive, and he's like, yeah, no, that stuff is not good. Like he said, any company that is
You
supposed
have
to
to
do,
put money into.
yeah, well, it's supposed to be, yeah, and it's supposed to be beneficial. You want to be as transparent as possible with your customers. So the fact that Thrive doesn't have any information about their product except for their ingredients on it, which that doesn't even like give you all the
Right.
information on it, is not good.
No, I never even heard of Thrive before this case. But
No, yeah,
I
well,
don't
not
know, it's
everybody's heard of
had me selling it the way she sounded. I'm
it, right?
just
I
kidding.
know.
I'm just joking. No one's victim bashing. Who's saying that?
No, we're not. And you know, I said I'm not saying
Defending
that
a
she didn't
murdered
have all
mother
those,
who
but
can't defend herself. No one, there's no defending needed because no one's bashing anyone. We're questioning what was put out there.
yeah, I can't.
Mary,
Thank you. FDA approved. I can't think of it. Mary, we're not bashing Shanann. We're just discussing,
what Shanann put out there
right?
for the world to see.
And no, we're not doctors, but I have done research on it. And like I said, my mom's friend has celiac disease. So the fact that, like I said, that Thrive, there's no way of proving
And
or
I'm in the
being able to
healthcare
tell.
field. I'm not a doctor, but I'm in the healthcare field. So I do know a lot about what I'm talking about. I did have children, so I know a lot about pregnancy. So I'm not victim bashing. I'm telling
She
you
said you
from
talked about
what I know.
SR and Munchausen's if she had that. Yeah, we are allowed to ask if she had it or not. There's no proof if she had it or not. And we're not saying that she didn't have it.
Right.
And all I did, because I'm not a doctor, I said, is Munchausen's and hypochondriac the same thing? So I'm asking, I'm not saying. That's a big difference.
People just want to get on here and, you know, try to make out like you're victim bashing if you ask questions about anything that happened in the case.
And I'm sorry, but not for nothing, but it's not like Shanann is probably like an angel. Nobody's perfect. So people are going to have flaws regardless of however somebody makes them out to be. I mean, that's just,
And she put her whole life on social media for the world to see. So why are we not allowed to ask questions about what we saw?
right. And I think her profile page or her Facebook is still available. So if you don't want us talking about the case or Shanann, then take her Facebook off. You know, like she's got memorials and people to remember her by and making videos for her. So I mean, why did they even make it public? All her whole thing public in the first place?
Right?
You know.
Very odd.
Okay, Mary, and and nobody's asking you to listen. We're not trying to be rude. We're not trying to be disrespectful, but
You can hit the exit button.
I mean, there's a lot of other people on YouTube that are extremely disrespectful
You're
to
not
Shanann.
a pediatrician, not obstetrician, not interested.
I mean, go and
No. Leave her alone. So what? My cousin was murdered. Am I not allowed to talk about his murder? Like, get over it. There's people murdered every single day. And if they're on the news, especially a case like this, people are going to talk about it. So if you don't like it, exit. It's that easy. That's what I do when I don't like the channel. I exit.
right. Nobody's forcing anybody.
I just can't with these people who act like asking questions is bashing anyone. That's what's wrong with America. If you don't fall in line, well, guess what?
I
You're gonna
mean,
realize that sooner or later that they should have been asking questions for a lot of things, not just this case.
okay. Bye, Mary. Sorry. I gave her a chance, and she just keeps saying we're bashing, and we just explained ourselves when we didn't even have to. So it's ridiculous.
How vile. How vile we are for asking questions.
Vile people we are.
Well, because that's what they wanted to make it out to be so that they could pass Shanann's law to all the crazy conspiracy theorists who ask questions.
I mean, yeah, that's
There was a guy I watched the other night, and he said, if they didn't want to see what was written on YouTube, on these small YouTube channels, then why do they hit the play button? Why do they look for it? They go out seeking for it. If they didn't want to be tortured and having to hear people say stuff about the case, then they wouldn't hit the play button. They're basically torturing themselves by hitting play if they don't want to hear an opinion that doesn't go with the official narrative.
exactly, and that's like, and then I see people that are like, the case is closed. Why are you still talking about it? And then those are the same people that are in the live chats themselves. So it's like, well, why are you here? If you think it's case is closed, then why are you in a live chat where we're discussing a case that we don't think should be closed?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they'll say that
I don't know Shanann. I don't know how she was a mother. She seemed like a good mother, but I don't know her in person to say that or not. So how do all these people know, so much about her just from her Thrive Facebook Live?
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know what happens when the camera turns off. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of it had to do with selling Thrive, and that's fine. I mean, that's how you make. That's a good salesperson.
Right.
That's how you make sales. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I think she was perfect either. So that would be speculating as well. But the Shanann's Law thing, they're going to sit there and say that, oh, it's so that we don't victim bash. No, it's to take away our free speech, and they're just using that as a loophole.
Exactly.
And again, it's like, okay, well, they know that they can't take it away all at once, but maybe it's the Watts case, and then next time it's a different case, next high profile murder case, and then everybody that they botch, and everybody won't stop talking, and then they're going to take a little bit more away, and then they're going to say, oh, Shanann's Law, you can't victim bash, and then the next one will be some other law where you can't.
Well, just like you're not allowed to talk about certain events
You know
on
what I mean?
here. Just like you're not allowed to talk about certain events that happened in the past that we can't talk about, or your channel will get flagged or taken down if you say something about it.
Yep. And that
So,
you really have to ask yourself, like, why
why are they trying so hard?
Right.
Why do they care with someone? Megan, how many subscribers do you have?
Like 1,000 and 100, no, 1,100, I think.
So why do they care if a YouTube channel with 1,100 subs has an opinion that's not?
Well, I don't think they do, because I don't think they know about me yet. Because our channel is so small, so
I'm
maybe
giving
that's
you as an example. But even a person with a couple thousand subs, why do they care? If they're not out looking for it, they wouldn't see it. Like, it took me a while to find people that actually thought with their common sense and not with their emotions. Like, find a channel like yours. So they have to be seeking out these channels that are not against, but don't believe the official narrative.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that well, I don't know if they are anymore, because I can't imagine that any decent organization would allow that kind of behavior from, victims that they're supposed to be advocating for, to go on and, engage themselves in, social media channels, and, get people to go against each other, and, praise people that are on their side, and then try to silence the people that aren't.
Right.
But
But yet they want to sell Shanann merchandise, like someone said earlier, but they don't want you talking about the case. So you can't have it both ways.
wait, the Rusex do?
Yeah, earlier today that the Rusex want to sell Shanann merchandise or something like that, but they don't want people talking about the case. Whose was that on? Tanya's?
Yeah, I think so, but I haven't heard that. I know that they mentioned something about it on that press conference about other people selling it, but I haven't heard that yet.
Because Cher made a point and said, well, if I buy a shirt that says, let's say it says shine for Shanann or something like that, and someone asks me, well, what does that mean? Because they never heard of it. You're going to tell them about it. They're going to look it up. They're going to start looking into the case even more. So it kind of contradicts itself.
Yep. Yeah. And the fact that this Honor Network organization, 90% of the victims that they advocate for are victims from well-known false flags.
Exactly.
So
A very well-known false flag.
Yeah, so they represent victims for SH shooting, and 1,000 Oaks, and what is it, a couple of the other ones that they mentioned on their website, and they actually admit to
Probably
that.
the Pulse nightclub in Boston. And
No, they do, yeah, Pulse in Boston. So why is it that 90% of the ones that they're representing are false flags? But then let me guess that the Watts case just happens to be different, right?
Right.
Like,
but has all the same red flags.
The person that started that organization is
Lenny
not.
Posner.
They're not advocating for what they say they are.
Right.
And that's sad, because I'm too scared to even say his name, because I'm, if Google hears
I
it,
thought you
then
just didn't
they're gonna
couldn't
flag.
remember his name, so that's why I said it. Sorry. Oh.
No, it's okay. I think I think I bleeped you because I talked over you. But
Uh,
yeah, so I mean that's insane that you can't even mention somebody's name without having to be worried about getting your channel taken down just for mentioning it. I mean,
right.
even if you're, just reading off of an article and it's not even anything conspiratorial, if you
Right.
say his name, like, you're automatically, Google's gonna, flag your video for it.
And I did a lot of research on that case. I think that's when I first really started getting to know about different false flags and psyops and stuff like that. And I just kept going down. And I think that case happened soon after I became aware of what was going on. And you can, once you start seeing it, they just like, totally just come out. You spot them right away. All the sorry, I'm yawning. All the inconsistencies of the case,
Yeah,
and
because, like, go ahead.
how all the narratives change early on, and it's very odd. It all happens the same way. Very weird.
Yep, because they're all following the same, protocol, the same
Right.
itinerary, whatever. And yeah, they're going to be different. Like, obviously, the Watts case is not a mass shooting, so um, you're not going to have drills,
Right.
on that day to distract. So there's not going to be any, like, drills
But
to
it is going
distract
to be
or whatever.
mainstream.
But what's that?
It is going to be mainstream now.
Yep.
It is going to be on Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz and whatever they can other
and then
show that we
all
can
the
look at.
professionals to convince people even more that this is what's really happening, because they're going to believe
And
professionals.
the movie was put out just to make the narrative, to push the narrative even more, in my opinion. So you picture in your head what is really what really happened and what they want you to think happened. So they make a movie out of it. Like if they didn't want people talking about it, why would they allow all of that? Why would they go on Dr. Phil?
Yeah, definitely. And then they streamed the funeral on Facebook for the whole world to see. I mean, why do something like that if you didn't want it to be out
Right.
there?
Cher is Voices Behind the Walls, her channel is. Yeah, it was way too soon to release that Lifetime movie. I
And
agree.
I blocked
Just
Meg
like
because she
everything
said
was
something
too
rude
soon.
about Cher, very disrespectful about Cher, and she was just clogging up the chat. And I don't remember some of the other stuff she said, but she said something rude about Cher, so that's why.
Exactly, for we need to be able to freely speak and discuss in a respectful manner.
I forgot I was gonna say
Everything
something.
in this case is weird. It really, it doesn't make sense. That's why people are still questioning it.
Exactly, and if they would have actually done a real investigation and didn't leave us with a bunch of questions, we wouldn't have to try to find them ourselves.
Right.
With the amount of information they put out willingly, there's no reason why we should be trying to figure out everything out. I mean, there's cases they don't even release all the information, and that much information anyways, and they don't leave us with a bunch of questions. And they all follow the same protocol, like I said, and they're all going to be they're pretty much the same, but they're going to be catered to that specific event.
To further whatever agenda they want to
Right. So
further for
yes,
that
whatever
event.
agenda or agendas they're pushing, that's going to be it's going to be a little bit different, obviously, but essentially they all have all the same. No trial, um, all the information released, and
Right.
yeah.
But you still have questions, even though all the information is released.
And that's what I said in Tanya's chat earlier, though, because people are like, "Well, we're never going to figure out all the answers." But if you figure out what's really going on, if you know what's really going on, you don't
You
actually,
don't need to.
believe it or not,
Right.
you don't need to know all the answers. All you need to know is what it is,
Right.
and know what the characteristics are, and that way in the future you can be able to spot them. So,
Identify the next false flag. Right.
right.
Or hoax or
Yeah, so
tryout.
that you're
Right.
not emotionally, you know,
Well,
um,
that's what I mean. That's how, when I start, getting into figuring out and researching these, once you started to know the characteristics of them, they would just, you could spot them out almost immediately.
yeah, exactly. And that's all I'm like, essentially trying to do is just, I want people to be able to spot them like we can, and that way they're not duped, like essentially, like, because at first I had no idea that this case was like that, but I, pretty quickly started seeing, this characteristic and that characteristic. They were all the same as the Vegas shooting. And I always bring up the Vegas shooting because it's almost identical. Like it
I
has
know,
some of the.
and that's the only one I didn't do a lot of research on because I
Oh,
was
really?
just having a baby at the time, so I really didn't have time to research that
That
one
makes
as
sense.
much. But I know parts of, I don't know it as well as I know the other ones.
But I mean, they have the data dumps, releasing the information a little bit at a time just to keep you interested, and then they feel like they make you feel like they're releasing so much information when really they're not. Like the FBI report that they were supposed to be this big deal. It was 3 pages for the Las Vegas shooting. So like there's so many
Oh, no.
inconsistencies. The narrative's always changing. You know, Paddock was committed suicide, so of course there's no trial because you can't put someone on trial that's dead. So and Chris Watts pled guilty, so dead.
I'm sorry, I have to go. My
Oh,
little
that's
one just
okay.
came out of her room and woke up, so I have to get her back to bed now.
Well,
I
thanks
don't
for
know what
coming on. I
she's up
appreciate
for.
it.
I will be listening once I get her back into bed. But thank you for having me on. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Bye, Chica.
I'll talk to you soon, Megan. Bye.
Hey, bye. Private pirate. That's hard to say. Um, yeah, great. Thank you. I am still figuring out D Live and BitChute. I don't. It just doesn't seem like very many people are over there. But yeah, I agree. I mean, there's so many people that are being censored, especially big channels with over at least 6-figure subscribers, and so I mean, there's if YouTube's going to take down those people, they're going to have no problem taking down a channel with 1,100 subs. So, like I said earlier, it's probably a good thing that my channel is small because I don't get that much attention. So, which is fine with me. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try D Live. Like I said, I'm still learning it. So. But it is almost 2.5 hours, so I don't like to make these too long. So I am going to go ahead and call it a night. But I just wanted to get on and show that evidence video because I just thought that was crazy, and it was kind of last minute, spur of the moment. So thank you everyone that was here, and sorry if there was some disturbances there for a little bit. Thank you to Chica, Angelina, Dave G, for keeping everything in line. And I will see you guys later. Have a good night.